Hey guys, we're going to review one of the assignments that you're going to be completing this week. It's the Ethos, Pathos, Logos, and Ads assignment. So let's go ahead and get started. If you were present in the Zoom meeting last week, then this is going to be a review for you. Last week, we took an opportunity to review this slide that basically goes over or summarizes the Ethos, Pathos, and Logos appeals. As you see here on your screen, when you are trying to build your ethos, that means you're trying to build your credibility and your character with an audience. And you do that by building trustworthiness, by demonstrating that you're educated, reliable, that you're credible, honest, and fair. When you want to build pathos with your audience, then what you want to do is you want to connect with them emotionally. And in doing so, what that does is that allows the audience to buy into what you're saying. And people do that all the time. Think about when you go into a classroom and a teacher basically smiles at you and tells you hello and asks you about your day and things like that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to build pathos with you, that emotional connection. That way, when they get to the core of the class, the teaching, the instruction, they've already developed that relationship with you. So that's pathos. And then, of course, the third appeal is logos. That's when you use reason and logic to convince or persuade your audience to do something. And in the classroom, we do that all the time. You know, teachers may say, okay, you're going to see this on the test, or this is important because you're going to need it next year. That's a reasonable or a logical appeal. It deals with basically making sure that you've built an authority in the learning and the text and in the information that you need to know. So let's go ahead and apply that specifically to this assignment today. For each of the following ads, you're going to identify the appeal most prominent in the ad, whether that's ethos, logos, or pathos. And then you're going to explain who the audience would be for the ad and why the appeal would persuade them to buy the product. So let's go ahead and take our first example. You'll see here on the screen that there's an advertisement here for Michelin tires. So take a minute and basically look at that advertisement. If you need to pause the video, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and move on though. Okay, so when you are analyzing a visual text, basically you need to just look at every little component, every little detail. And then the first thing obviously you should do is identify what the product is. And so in this case, it's Michelin tires. And that's odd because the advertisement features a baby. Okay, well, let's figure out why the company would have wanted to do that. So let's summarize what we see. First, I see a baby in a tire. Something else that stands out to me, it's not just any baby, it's a newborn baby. I mean, think about how small that baby has to be to fit in that little teeny circle in that tire. And the baby is resting in the tire like it's a bassinet. I mean, notice the little white pillow that's underneath the baby and all that good stuff. And the text says another safe delivery. The tagline says, because so much is riding on your tires. So who is the audience of this particular advertisement? Well, let's think about that. Obviously, it's going to be parents, right? But I think that the audience is actually more narrow than just parents. Now, specifically, I think the audience is for dads, because who normally buys tires? Dads. And what color is that baby wearing? Blue. And even though it's stereotypical, we normally associate having a son with kind of it being a dad kind of appeal. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Mom is busy giving birth. And so dad's over here, what's he worried about? How am I going to take care of my new family? Oh my gosh, I got this new responsibility. So while mom's delivering the baby in the hospital, it's dad's role to deliver that baby home safely. And so this tire company is actually appealing to that aspect for the dad. Let me move this over here. And so you'll see men are more likely to shop for tires than women. Yep, it's sexist, but we see sexism all the time in advertisements. So what appeals are being used primarily in this particular advertisement? Well, I think it's mostly pathos driven. I mean, it's mostly an emotional appeal. I don't really see any facts or logic or in there. I mean, it's a baby in a tire. And, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, so that right there, just the first visual image was pathos, and then all the other aspects built into it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next visual. What we have here is we have an advertisement, obviously for nail polish, just in case you are unfamiliar with OPI, I actually use OPI. Let's go through and answer these 6 questions. What is the product? What do you see? And when you go through this activity, I want you to list no less than 5 things that stand out to you. But you know what, guys? Don't get stuck in the weeds. And what I mean by that is, like on my screen, I cannot read the text that's under here or that's under there. And so, you know what? If I can't read that text, it's probably not part of the most prominent appeal. So, you know, don't go through this assignment and say, oh, I couldn't read this or I couldn't see that or it's blurry. If it's blurry, then it doesn't matter. It's not, like I said, one of the prominent features. We need to identify who the audience is, what appeals are being used, okay, and which appeal is used more prominently, and how or why does that prominent appeal persuade the audience. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. The product is OPI nail polish. And I've listed some things that I saw here. Now, I actually wrote that out kind of in sentences, but I underlined each aspect separately. So the first thing that stood out to me is it's Nicki Minaj. The next thing is that crazy metallic dress. It's red, purple, gold, silver. She's not wearing baby blue, baby pink, yellow. She's wearing like high definition glossy colors there, which is what I think of when I think of nail polish. Like when I want to wear nail polish, I want it to be beautiful and I want it to be, I want people to see it. It's very stylish. Some other things that stand out to me. She is standing in a powerful pose. I mean, if you look at that, it's like, I don't even see her nails that prominently, but the way she's posing with her fingers spread apart so that I can see every nail, like that is a power woman pose right there. And look at the expression on her face. That's a, you know what, don't mess with me kind of pose. They don't have her smiling. They don't have her grimacing. I mean, that's a kind of like, I'm not going to take any crap kind of pose, and neither is my nail polish. Can't break my nail polish kind of idea. So again, they've got that powerful pose, and I think it's specifically to show off those nails. Her name is at the top of the ad, okay, and it's more prominent than any other text on the ad. And if you look, like the name of the product is all the way down at the bottom, which is odd. You would think that the name of the product would be at the top, but in this case, they want Nicki Minaj, like technically the text, to stand out to you. Okay, so those are the things that stood out to me when I first looked at the advertisement. So that leads me to ask, who is the audience? Well, I feel like because they chose Nicki and because of the colors and all that other stuff and that power pose, that the audience for this particular advertisement is younger women who tend to think of Nicki Minaj as a style icon. Now, when we move into explaining the appeals that are used, obviously there's ethos. They chose a celebrity. Not only did they use her face and her image, but they used her name more prominently than anything else. They put her in a power pose, which is ethos, because that builds credibility right there. If somebody stands in a classroom like that, then I think, hey, they know their stuff. The other thing are... they put, again, they put her name at the top and all that other good stuff. So what appeal is used more prominently? For me, I think this is an ethos-driven advertisement, okay? If Nicki Minaj wears it and wears it like that and she looks good like that, then I want to get that nail polish. So the primary or the prominent appeal here is ethos. And so if, So why or how does the prominent appeal persuade the audience? What I've written here is when advertisers use celebrities, they're saying this product will make you like Nicki Minaj. Her celebrity is her ethos. Also, the desire young women have to be individual and strong like Nicki Minaj. Again, that could be ethos, and that can also transcend over to pathos as well. Now, exploiting an audience's desire to be like someone else, like a celebrity, that is pathos. But again, I think the primary appeal here in this particular advertisement is ethos. So what you guys are going to do for this assignment is you're going to view the images on slides 7 through 12, and you're going to analyze each image by answering each of the 6 questions for each one. When you're done, there's a debriefing section on the last slide of this activity if you'll complete that. So I'm just going to scroll through really quickly before I end the video so you can take a look at the images, and then you guys can let me know if you have any questions. Here's image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5, image 6. So do the best that you can. Again, you're basically what you're focusing on is this an ethos, logos, or a Pathos advertisement? All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to do the final questions on the last slide.